Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In last video we have discussed about pteridophyta. In this video we are going to discuss about gymnosperms. So what is meant by gymnosperm? Firstly, gymnosperms, the word is split into two words. Gymnos means naked and sperms means seeds. So those plants which consist of a naked seeds are said to be gymnosperms. So gymnosperms are the plants in which ovules are not enclosed by any ovarian wall and remain exposed both before and after fertilization, which means ovule is always open or free in condition, which is not covered by any ovarian wall. Whereas in angiosperms it is differ because ovules are covered by ovarian wall. This is the difference between gymnosperm and angiosperms. So let us see here. Gymnosperms are embryophytic and tracheophyte and archegoniate and phanerogams. What it means? Embryophyte means which consists of an embryo, where embryo is developed from a zygote through mitotic division is said to be embryophyte. So this is common for bryophyte and pteridophyte and gymnosperms. So there is no difference in these three because those are embryophytes. And here this is tracheophyte, which means consists of vascular tissue. Whereas in pteridophytes it is also tracheophytic, whereas in bryophytes that is atracheophytes, which means that doesn't consist of vascular tissue. Here continuation to our topic, archegoniatic and phanerogams. What is meant by archegoniate? Which have a female gamete is said to be archegonium or archegoniate. So phanerogams, which consists of flowers and seeds, are said to be phanerogams. This is unique character to the gymnosperm, whereas in pteridophyte there is in that case that is cryptogams. In here we are talking about phanerogams, means consists of flowers and seeds. So these plants are generally in a medium sized and tall trees and shrubs also present. One of the gymnosperm, the giant redwood tree, is one of the tallest tree species. This is important for that. And ginkgo is considered as a living fossil. This is also an important. Living fossil means that is a living thing, like it fossil. You know about fossil, right? So this is a living fossil to the gymnosperm. So roots in here generally taproot. Here the roots are taproot in gymnosperms. Root in some genera has fungal association with the mycorrhiza, which is example for that is pinus. While in some other cycas, some specialized roots called coryled roots are associated with N2 fixation cyanobacteria. So here guys, for this association means some specialized roots, usually specialized roots is said to be coryled roots are associated with nitrogen fixation cyanobacterium. For that, Nostoc and Anabaena is an example for this association. So here mycorrhiza for this association example for that is pinus tree. So this is the two different cycas and pinus trees are the example for this root modifications or root things. So stem are unbranched cycas. If a stem in stems are unbranched, which is said to be or example for cycas, or in branched condition, which is example for pinus and cedrus. So leaves may be simple or compound, which means simple means in a petiole they consist on a simple leaf. I will explain the leaf structures and all. If a composite leaf means the single node arise from many leaves are arranged from a single node is said to be a composite leaf. Whereas simple, here the simple means which means only one leaf is going to arise from each node is said to be a simple node, simple leaf. So let us have a look here. In cycas, pinnate leaves persist from a few years. So this is about pinnate leaf. What is meant by pinnate leaf? So what is meant by pinnately leaves? So here that point, pinnate leaves. So pinnate leaves is nothing but the number of leaves are arranged in a common axis are said to be pinnate leaves. So this is what about pinnate leaves. Perfect example for this is a neem tree. So leaves and the gymnosperms are well adapted to extreme temperature, humid and wind. How? The leaves are get modified into a very narrow. That's why they can withstand the high temperatures. So in that's why in this point they have clearly shown or clearly explained here. In conference, needle-like leaves are helps to reduce the surface area. If that it is a huge amount of leaves are present, then the huge amount of water will loss from that leaves. Then that plant might be not sufficient, or they cannot tolerate the extreme temperature. So that's why their leaves are getting very needle-like structures. So their thick cuticle and sucking stomata are also helps to reduce water loss. So this is about the sucking stomata, means the stomata where water loss through said to be stomata or stomatal structure. So anatomically, stem shows use steel. So this is not present in the NCERT. For the general sake, I am going to discuss this also. The vascular bundles are conjointed, collateral, and opened. This is anatomical terminology. I will explain when the topic will arise, when the chapter will come. So just remember these words here. Vessels are generally absent in xylem. So you have to remember that. What is meant by xylem? Xylem is a tissue which is present in a xylem, but here that is xylem is absent in gymnosperms, and companion cells also absent in phloem. So this is the two important points. The question might be arise. That's why I am going to explain this. In NCERT, these points are not there. Secondary growth occurs in stem and roots. So there is no doubt about growth. It occurs in both roots and stems. Gymnosperms are heterospores. They produce haploid microspore and megaspore. Microspore and megaspores are the two spores, which means that that's why we use the term heterospores. Two kinds of spores are said to be sporangia, or produced within the sporangia, that are born on the sporophyll. Sporophylus is nothing but a sporophyte, that are arranged spirally along an axis to form a compact strobili or a cone. The strobili bearing microphyllus and megasporangia is said to be a male strobilla or microsporangiata. This is all about the general characters. Let us enter into the important topic. So here guys, microspores developed from the male gametophytic generation is highly reduced and confined to only limited number of cells, which means they have only limited number of cells. These reduced gametes is nothing but are called as pollen grains. Pollen grains which help. What is meant by pollen grain? Pollen grains helps for fertilization, which acts as male gamete. So development of the pollen grains takes place within the microsporangia. So this is microsporangia is a male gamete. So the formation is takes place or development of pollen grains takes place at microsporangia. So the cone bearing megasporangia with ovules or integuments, megasporangia are called macrosporangiata or female gamete, similar to the female flower. So microsporophylus are said to be, microsporophylus is said to be male gamete, megasporophylus is said to be female gamete, where they be born on a same plant. See one thing here. Like Pteridophyta, whereas like Pteridophyta, they are not a free living gamete here. Few exception to few, but here all are present in a same plant. So here the same plant is present, that is cycas, or in a different tree said to be a female cycas. So let us get into the topic of megaspore mother cell is differentiated from one of the cell of nucleus. So it is, you might understand, which differ from one of the cell of nucleus, which is differ from a nucleus. So nucleus is protected by envelopes or integuments and composite structures called ovule. Ovule is a female gamete here. So megaspore mother cells divides meiotically to form 4 megaspores. So one of the megaspore enclosed with the megasporangium nucleus develops into multicellular female gamete that bears 2 or more archegonium or female sex organs. So you might understand this point. Though multicellular female gamete is retained with megasporangium, also called as endosperm. So this is the female gamete retained within the megasporangium is said to be endosperm. Retained means it is present inside the megasporangium is said to be endosperm. So unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes in gymnosperm, male and female gametes do not have an independent free existence, which I have told you earlier. Like female gamete and male gamete is not in a free condition. They are present in the same plant species. They remain within the sporangia, retain on the sporophyta. The pollen grains is released from a microsporangium. Means I have told you this is a male gamete which is released from a microsporangium. So the pollination is direct anemophilous. What is meant by anemophilous? If a fertilization occurs through air is said to be anemophilous. So which I have given here. So let us. The pollen tube carries male gametes, grows through archegonium and discharges near the mouth of the archegonium. Is said to be siphonogamous oogamy. What is meant by siphonogamous oogamy? If a pollen grains are carried through pollen tube, is said to be a siphonogamous oogamy. Is if that fertilization, if the fertilization is occur like that, then we use it to say it is a siphonogamous oogamy. So cycas shows both siphonogamous and judogamous oogamy. What is meant by judogamous oogamy? We have told, I have explained you earlier also, which is nothing but where the male gamete is motile in condition, which travel from a male gametophyte to a female gametophyte, where the fertilization takes place. Then that fertilization takes place now. Then we can say that is a judogamous. So here, this is all about here. In addition point to that, there are 4 main classes, 3 main classes. So here, like have shown, gymnosperms are divided into 3 classes: Psychodopsida, Coniferopsida, and Gentopsida. So these are example for here. And this all about today's class. In next class, see you in the next class with angiosperms. See you guys. Bye bye. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share, and do subscribe, guys.